And we are going. What's going on with everybody? It is your boy Eric, aka Young God, coming to you live in the Orange Dungeon, giving it to you real raw, rugged. And I got somebody on the other line, man. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Who we got here today, man?
She happens, big trophies in the building, man. Uh, we here, man. Shout out to you, fool, man. I appreciate you even reaching out to me, man.
Hey, like you said before we got on here. By the way, no problem at all because you said, hey, man, I don't really see you do too many battle rap interviews, and that's because I don't. Because I like to only interview the niggas that I feel like a little bit different. So let me start off from the beginning on
Mm-hmm.
why we even here. So big battle rap fan. Been watching battle rap for a real long time, and I feel like you got all types of battle rappers. You got trash niggas, you got okay niggas, good
Yeah.
niggas, great niggas. You got niggas that's really fire, but then I feel
Mm-hmm.
like you have niggas that I feel like after they die, their brain needs to be donated to science. So
Oh man.
you got niggas like Daylyt. You got niggas like Lux. You got, hey, I'm putting my nigga Bangs up there. I think Bangs is
Things is
different.
fire.
You got niggas like that, and then you have niggas like Sheed Happens because
Oh man, that's an honor right there, man. I appreciate that compliment, bro.
and I'm not even saying it because you hear. I legitimately, when I seen you, I was like, what he's doing is so difficult right now. Like what he's doing and how he's executing it,
Mm-hmm.
there is so like the margin of error is so slim on how he could mess up and everything could go wrong compared to the niggas he's
Yeah.
battling. This is crazy. So I just want to let you know, as a nigga, I'm not a rapper. I rap some. I know how to rap. I know how to put words together. And seeing what you do, it is
Mm-hmm.
not easy what you are doing. So, as somebody who's been watching, I just want to let you know I appreciate what you do, bro. It is crazy.
Man, that's a fire compliment, bro. I appreciate it, man. I try to take the time out to just really put as much as I can into my lyrics, fool, and just because it's people that appreciate small things, even if they miss a bar, they go and they look it up. So I'm also like one of them type of guys too. It's a lot of goose eggs that I put in my rhymes as well. It's like I might not put a lot of emphasis on it, but it's still there. I still said it, like type of shit. So I mean, I just do it like I'm a rapper's rapper, man. I appreciate lyrics, and so for me to become a rapper, I went ahead and just like, man, I got to emulate some of the things that I love to do myself in my own rap. So I appreciate, man. That's a hell of a compliment.
Man, first time watching you, I don't remember when it was, but I remember, of course, watching on Caffeine. And I
Hmm.
don't know how many battles you watched on Caffeine. Looking at the comments,
Yeah.
absolute idiots in those comments. I mean,
Oh man, some of them comments make you want to kill yourself, man. But
goodness
it's like,
gracious.
but I get it though. I get it though, man. Now we live in a day and age right now. It don't even have to be true or your feelings. It's just whatever's funny first. Like type of thing, man. It's like, okay, if I can say this about him and get a lot of likes under my comments, I get traffic towards. So it don't matter who's, at disposal.
You
It
know what
don't
it
matter.
is? It's the stimulation and the dopamine rush that people get for the likes and the upvotes and the laughs that they get in the chat. And nigga get 1,000 upvotes or whatever. And nigga like, boy, I'm the shit. And like nigga really feel like he done did something for the day. So
They wake
niggas,
up trying to figure out how to go viral again or how to top their last likes type of thing like that, man. It's just I know some people who won't, they're not influencers and not they're not really doing anything, but they just uploading pictures. I know some people who won't drop the picture until a certain time.
mm,
Like it's a lot of things that people just kind of just do for views and likes. So the caffeine section, the comments, man, I sometimes you can find some gold in there sometimes, but you really have to dig. And that's the thing about finding gold. It's not that easy to find it, but some of it, some of the criticism is constructive, and other is trash. But when you get into this game, you got to know that this is a very negative driven game. So it's like complaining about the negatives is kind of tough doing that when you're up there like just tearing down your opponent, like type of thing. So being able to filter outside of the ring is still a part of the fight. You know
mm.
what I'm saying?
And like I said, it could be hard to do sometimes when all it is just either negativity or uh, just criticism that's not constructive. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely, absolutely.
looking at whatever battle it was, I can't remember. It was like one of the battles, or maybe the first second battle I seen of you. And people in the comments like, man, this nigga getting washed right now. This nigga not that good. And I'm watching you, and I can't remember who he was battling, but I'm like, bro, what he's doing from
Mm-hmm.
not only is the rapping high level, the theatrics, like you're damn near putting on like a Broadway performance, like
Mm-hmm.
the
Man.
way your hands are moving, your voice, you're doing different inflections sometimes.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
breaking down certain syllables of words, and it's just like what he's doing is so difficult compared to a nigga just saying, "Bow, the ratchet hit him," and it's like
Yeah. Facts,
it is
facts,
so
facts,
crazy.
man.
So, like I said, I just want to reiterate that what you are doing for the people that might not understand, it's very difficult what you were doing. Like when I look at a nigga like Daylyt, I'm like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I forgot to put in Twerk, another nigga who needs to donate his brain to science. When I look at niggas like that, I'm like, it is so difficult to do that. So, I don't know how you would break this down, but can you just explain what you may do versus some of your peers that you think kind of put you in a different tier?
Well, the first thing is the approach. Um, I know a lot of people who will come up with a bar and they're like, there you go. Some bars are that good that it's like a lot of those bars are very relatable when you can just write it first time, straight up. Like seatbelt don't work, and when I'm trying to buckle up, Tay Rock. Everybody relates to that, you know. But intricacy, when you start to separate yourself, somebody be like, nah, the normal dude would say it like this. So then they write down that second option. I'm the one to say skip the first, skip the second, third. You know, like let's go with the third option right there. It's like, man, because if everybody's looking at that one, then I'm gonna try to flip it. If there's nothing else to flip, then by all means, I'm gonna say it the best way I can. So that's my first approach about when I'm creating my bars. As far as delivery, people think because in battle rap you don't have a beat, that means it's a cappella. Your voice is an instrument. Um, and that's how a lot of rappers, kind of artists, are successful. People will say, "Man, Lil Baby just killed that verse." Well, let's look at the verse. How did he kill it? First, he had an intro, then an intro to his verse, and then he switched up the flow like twice in one verse. He didn't give you a straight. You know, we're putting it on like a speed limit. He didn't just go 50 miles per hour to get to the light. He went 20, 100, stopped at the light, you know, type of thing like that. And it's like, yo, how he still covered the same distance, but it's just what he did in that time. So that's how I look at things. It's like, all right, my voice is actually an instrument as well. So we're going to go different octaves. We're going to go different tones and things and so forth. And that'll separate you. If I like a bar, I'll start naturally I'll start making fun of it because I'll always make fun of shit. I turn everything into a fucking joke. So then I'll start saying it funny. Like, green screen, ding. And I'm like, ooh. Then if I start moving like this, I'm like, okay, I like this. Like, I came up with a bar against my guy Bars Major, and I was like, I said, I said socks for the grip. Like, I came up with a bar. I was like, man, I know you drove here, but you gonna fly home. Then I was like, socks for the grip. I was like, it was no gloves, socks for the grip, like Sky Zone. And I'm like, ooh, socks for the grip, like Sky Zone. So I'm like, socks for the grip, like Sky Zone. I was like, socks for the grip, that Sky Zone. Socks for the grip, the Sky Zone. Then I saw he breathing slowly. No, he gonna die though. I know you drove here, but you gonna fly home. Then I was like, ooh, I like that. And then I'll just put it together and I'll just drop it like right in the middle of a round. So while I'm rapping, it gives the viewer something different. It gives them a break. You know, it's like, all right, he heard this. Whoa, what is he doing? Whether it's good or bad, I'd rather whoa you first. Like, what is he doing? And if I'm winning and you're on the up with it, you're going to go with me to where I want you to go. It's really a big hit or miss a lot of the times, but you learn from missing. It's like, okay, now I know they like me for this versus that. So yeah, that's pretty much my style, man. That's how I just really break down a lot of my bars.
Shit, it's like the nerd. It's like the rap nerd shit. I love to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if
hey,
niggas even
hey,
care
my
about what
bad,
we
bro.
talking about.
This damn, God damn. I don't know if that's God. I don't know. I hear you, brother. All right, let me get. Jeez, did you see the rays shining?
Hey, you ever see they be like when niggas with brown eyes be taking pictures? I don't know if I feel like you got brown eyes, nigga. That shit hate you in the brown. I was like, boy, nigga trying to. I ain't know if you were
Like,
trying to look
jeez.
cute in the video or what, nigga.
I
But
think I was just glowing just now, just explaining that shit. Man, hey, that was God. I'm sorry. Yeah,
That's
man. But that's
hilarious.
pretty much my style, bro. Like I try to not think of the first thing, and that way it's left field. When it's like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I'm not. You're not supposed to be predicting that it's about to happen unless I want you to. Like some type of rhymes you want people to participate in. But other rhymes you want to make it as different as possible because that's how you get your full credit. You don't get your full credit when somebody say, I seen that before. Now you got to top what they seen,
You know,
type of thing. I'm not trying to, like, I've seen people get on certain people's tracks and they'd be like, bruh, if he killed that verse, why would you jump on that beat? You got to do either better than him or just as equal. Then it should be like, you shouldn't even been doing the beat because that guy killed it already. So I don't want to hear your version. So it's like, approach is a big separation and everything. Some of the guys that you name, Daylyt, Briz, Twerk, these guys are different and they created their own lane. And when it's your own lane, there's no traffic. There's no traffic. We're all trying to get to the destination, man. On Verse Tracker is a site that kind of has all the registered battle rappers. If you're familiar with it, according to them, it's like 45,000 battle rappers, out here. Like how and that's registered, type of thing like that. So it's like, how you gonna beat that traffic, man? You gonna take that same road, or you gonna be you? You gonna do something different. So that's what I just really focus on. I stayed true to it. I had so many people tell me to switch my style. We don't like it, this and that. Well, hey, I got to know when I lead this game that I did it my way, and not because you conform me to be just like the traffic. And then I'm wondering why I can't. Hey, I'm wondering why I can't get through because y'all done marginalized me to over here. Y'all, I'm gonna take the scenic route. Maybe I might find a shortcut. Type of thing. So that's how I describe my shit.
so speaking of that, tell me if you agree or disagree with this take I got about battle rap. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
one thing about battle rap is that battle rap fans do not like experimenting. So when I say that, let's take Twerk for example. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
you say Twerk has his own lane, which he definitely created his own lane. But I feel like it worked for Twerk because one, niggas love high energy. Niggas love Shotgun Suge. Niggas love Hitman Holla. But what made him different is that he was kind of one of the first niggas with that energy and to be that lyrical and be that different. Like the first time I seen him was his Red Handed battle. That is one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite performances in battle rap history. I
That's
mean,
one of his too. That's one of his too.
goodness gracious, that is craziness.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's why that worked for him. But somebody like for you, I can see it hold you back because the way people think. Like I feel like a lot of battle rap fans could be small minded because they could see you. You know how niggas say, "Oh, this nigga weird, man. This nigga doing so much weird shit or whatever." So do you feel like sometimes battle rap fans or battle rappers can be pigeonholed by the battle rap fans' narrow mindedness on experimenting with flows or sounds and stuff like that?
Absolutely, absolutely. People are scared of different. People are scared of different because since they can't familiarize themselves with it, the first thing they do is try to compare it to something that they already know instead of just appreciating it for what it is. But when they usually do that, it's a lot of the another thing. People don't like to be wrong, so you sit out there and you say, "Hey, man, this different. Whatever this different is, I can't put my hand on it, so I'm not going to say it's right. Everybody agree it's wrong, right? Okay, cool. Instead of going this other way, of going away from the crowd and saying like, "Hey, man, there's something interesting about that." Nah, no, it ain't you. Weird for liking that. They don't like to be that projection of it because it's some weird shit that be happening in this culture, a lot. So people are scared to get closer to something. And so that's why like it's important to in your raps to familiarize them. That's why it's not always gun butt. It's what did you go through? Can somebody say I feel you on that? Like can somebody say, damn man, I don't know that, but my man right here, he go through it type of thing. I'm this first handed, I see it. This happened around me type of thing. So I always say as a rapper, you want somebody to say, "Yo, I feel you, bro." Like that's all you really want is for somebody to say, "Yo, I fuck with you, man. Like I feel you on that, man. I ain't know nothing about you, but when you said, then you got him." No type of thing that makes them automatically like connected to you in some type of way. So with that, I think a lot of the fans are very opinionated, but this is an opinionated sport, and it's no different to how I see it is it's part of the game. If I if I go up, if I'm a ball player and I got an open lane, they don't care how tired I am. They don't care if it's. They have no idea that my ankle's been killing me, and I don't want to tell the coach because he's going to pull me out of the game. But when I miss that layup, you suck. You get the fuck out of here. I would never done that. My niece could have made that. Like it's instant. It's instant, and you got to have tough skin about it. It's similar to being a comedian. You say a bad joke, boo! He's not funny. I'm 2 jokes in. You don't like my whole act? Like, god damn, some people are preset that way. Oh, it's this guy, man. I saw him last time. Don't laugh, y'all. He's not funny. You know, it's.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to add this because this goes along with your point. You be in the caffeine chat, a nigga, it'll be second round, the first nigga go, and nigga be like, shit, it's 1-1. He be like, the second nigga ain't even rap yet, so how'd you mean it's
1-1? I've heard 3-0 chants before the other person went. Like, it's like, how is that 3-0? The feeling could be like you're in trouble. But how is it 3-0? Every round is subject to change. But it comes with the game. And I try not to hang my hat on it too much and just really be in my feelings about it. Sometimes I might jump out there and say something. It got to be something like preposterous. Like, oh, this guy wrote for Sheed or this, that. And after a while, if that's getting too many likes, I got to, like, say something, like, morally. Like, what? No, that didn't happen. Or something like, you don't even know what you're talking about. But really engaging back and forth with like a fan, I can't do it too much on their opinion. It's like, yo, you gonna have that? Because I know that at the dinner table tonight, you're gonna be talking, hey baby, you know this dude named She Happens? Yeah, I was going back and forth with this dude, man. Yeah, man, I'm not trying to be your conversation at dinner tonight. I'm not trying to be that. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you your space. I'm gonna all right, you said your opinion, see you later, type of thing. So at times they're not receptive, but at other times too, I appreciate if I got 10 people hating, I appreciate those 3 people saying, nah, man, I see something different. And now that 3, next time is 6, next time is 9, you know, type of thing. I just embrace it all, fool.
That is crazy to think that it's a nigga wife out there trying to give him some coochie, but he too busy arguing with She Happens. That is pretty. It's pretty wild to think about. Like, this bitch got.
Hold on, babe.
This nigga.
Damn, you beautiful. But this guy got me fucked up.
This nigga trophy's not even real. Nigga just going crazy.
That's real, man. What trophies has he earned? All right, bro.
Oh man, but no, I mean, just going back to like the criticism and the being different. That's bigger than a battle rap thing. That's a black thing. You know how niggas is. It's like if anything is slightly different, you know, it's deemed as weird. And being called weird by a certain sex of like, you know, the black community, that could really outcast a nigga. Like, what is nigga weird as fuck?
Weird is a new cuss word.
What weird might be, and 2022 being, I mean, not 2022, but just like the way I say this, my homeboy said this a long time ago. He was like, you remember when like you will only hear a nigga get called a coon like once a year? Now you hear like coon like every day. He like the word don't even mean nothing no more. So like weird might be worse than coon in 2022 if we being honest with you, just because the way niggas are devalued.
But on the flip side, on the positive side, goat. I be seeing everybody get called the goat for taking a fire picture. You the goat. Like I just took a picture, man. like I guess the greatest. But that's just how this shit is, man. On the flip side, like how you were saying, it's people won't be negative. You can't stop them. Like you cannot stop them. The only thing you can do is feed into it. They just convert you. Like they just convert you. Like, I got you, motherfucker. That's why nigga be. This is the ultimate. I'm gonna get you even madder. You mad? It's like, damn, he got me. I am mad. This motherfucker guy, I am mad. Like, damn, how you know? Like, it's so much negative stuff in this game. You just gotta find your way through it, man.
Hey, I'm glad that you didn't let the hate or the whatever negative comments get to you, because like I said, your style is so refreshing to see when you'll watch a 5-hour long event or whatever and you hear a lot of niggas who sound the same or a lot of niggas who sound like the other nigga that just went up, you know what I'm saying? But when it come to you, it's like, damn, this nigga got his own swag. this nigga's doing these weird ass, voices and weird inflections. If I put
Yeah,
it up, and it's like, yo, that's
yeah,
really
yeah,
different.
yeah.
So, hey, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you kept pushing
Yeah.
through, man.
I appreciate that, man. It's tough, man. It's tough. Like I said, man, I am human, so I learned to not read the comments by reading the comments.
Mm.
It's like, damn, man. Like sometimes it'll get to you. Sometimes they'll 30 you. It's like, God damn, this one motherfucker here. Like, where you at? Like, where you at talking like that? What you better not have no music out. Trash. I'm on the trash. But with that, it's like, I had to stay true because I knew how different it was, man. I knew how different it was, and I'm like, yo, I'd rather be a trendsetter than to be a follower, type of thing. It's like, man, and just sell out the way I sell out. It's like I always use this example, man. Do you remember how everybody reacted when the Balenciagas dropped?
The
The first
shoes,
one,
the shoes,
yeah,
yeah.
the first ones. Walk down the street now.
All you see is Balenciaga.
Man, them big ass shoes, man, that shit look like a printer. That shit look like a PS5. Man, I'll never catch that, man. Life ain't never gonna be that bad. Next thing you know, they stomping in them buildings, walking down the street. And it's like, yo, that's just how it is. When somebody, next thing you know, they'll transition over. They'll try to act like they've been there the whole time, but really they shunned it. They shunned it. They didn't try them on. They didn't do anything. They don't know if it's comfortable. They don't know nothing. You can have your opinion about it, and that's constructive. Hey, yo, man, they just look real heavy. I be running a lot. Don't look like this shoe for me. Type that's constructive. Ugly, terrible. Whoever made this, your kids should go to hell. It's like, damn, bro. It's like, God damn, it's like, is my style that bad that I should not? They like, yo, man, get him off the roster, man. URL, what are y'all doing, man? Y'all wasting y'all time with this guy. This is that corny. I don't like nothing he does. Who does that? I done seen people say the same joke. He sounds like Count Dracula. It's funny the first time. It was funny. And I'm like, yo, y'all saying the same shit. It's like, man, but then I'll see the constructive and the praise. It's like, yo, he's a fresher breath of air. He's so different. I don't know anybody that sounds like him. And those are the ones that shine more than those that cancel out 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
You see a couple of them because it's such an abundance of the negativity that other one shines as well. So, like, man, that just kept me going. It's like, all right, they saying I sound different. I'm going to take the constructive and I'm going to apply it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to slow down my pace. I'm going to do that. So it's been working, man. It's been working. So it's some jewels in there sometimes.
Niggas is sheep, man. Niggas see one influencing nigga like give you a cosign, then it's like, oh, this nigga really might be the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Balenciagas, like you said, everybody first seen them trash. Now you can't. Hey, one of my favorite battle rap interviews. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but probably the funniest video, top 13 funniest videos on YouTube. Cassidy gets interviewed by 3 Letterman, and after I forget the battle, but these niggas arguing at the top of their lungs, and Cassidy made this analogy. He was like, it's reading statistics, and they say like, if a nigga walk in the room and it's a whole bunch of people doing jumping jacks, you know what that dickhead gonna do? He gonna do jumping jacks. He not gonna ask what they doing jumping jacks. He just gonna do jumping jacks. And even though that was really funny, I mean that is true. Like niggas gonna follow. Niggas not gonna ask why. Niggas not gonna give any critical thought to what's going on. They're just gonna be like, oh, everybody else doing it, let me do it.
Facts. That's how people are. Facts. That's just the way it is, man. And it's just you can't please everybody too. That's one thing that I know into this game. Like in the tournament against None, they had me 19% to 81. Then my battle against True Foe, 19% to 81, both in their favors. Then my third battle with JC, everybody knows that's my toughest opponent that I've had in my last 2. I went up to 26%. Yeah, it's not 100. Yeah, it's not 50. But you got to look at the percentage that it jumped on the difficulty. It's like, wow, imagine if that was somebody else who wasn't prestigious JC. What would that percentage look like? Like, so it's like I was just looking at the positives, and it's like, yeah, man, yeah, they still got me at the underdog, but look how many people I convert,
Mm.
and it's not all about I'm gonna wake up one day, I'm gonna have 5,000, I'm gonna have 2,000 followers, and then I'm gonna have 35,000 followers. It don't really go like that. You gotta kind of put in the grind, and as quick as they come like that, the quicker they go. So if you are overnight success, as soon as you fuck up, they out of there too. So you want to get your hardcore fans, that is really in the mud with you. It's like you remember when you counted down to, man, I got 5,000 followers, y'all. Thank you for that five, or thank you for this, type of shit like that, because you was there with the grind. So it's just all about the positives, man. Just looking at the people that you can convert, man, versus the people that you can't do nothing about it, man. It's some people, it's gonna be some assholes all the time, but just to see that my constant progression, man, I'm with that. That's all about.
Hey man, and looking at the progression, I feel like you should be able to skip a couple niggas in line. If I could give you Daylyt, next battle. Next battle, I
Man.
need Daylyt versus She because
I know something crazy. I got that Daylyt, one of my favorite battle rappers. And he ended up saying like he fucked with my style and shit. So I threw a shot at him. It's like I know how this game go. It's like, yo, that's an admiration shot. Like, it's like, yo, I'm not gonna really send a shot at. I don't know half of these dudes, man. I'm not gonna send a shot just at somebody. It's like I'm gonna send a shot at. Kyrie was arguing with Kobe on the U.S. team. Like, you can't guard me. Like, shut up, Kyrie. But I know what he was doing.
yeah,
He wanted them lessons. It's like, yo, we know you can't fuck, but Kyrie just. Then the next clip, you see Kyrie come down the whole court, crossing them up. It's like, damn. Maybe that practice, he went crazy. He could have been getting dogged the rest of the practice, but that one highlight, and that's how I kind of treated the tournament against, like, JC. I was like, yo, watch, I'm going to go off. I said, it's going to be something. I'm getting a lot of praise for my second round with JC, and that right there is like, man, all the hard work just is paying off, bro. It's a blessing, fool. It's a blessing.
hey, before I even come to this, since we are putting out things in the air that we want to happen. Speaking of, it's very timely since you brought that up. Hey, Kyrie, KD, you want to come down to the Heat? Would be amazing. I am a Miami Heat fan, so a lot of stuff going on right now. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, got you. Y'all was close.
Hey, hoping. Hey, maybe still. Who knows? Man? Who knows? Maybe still. But yes. It is something about Daylyt that I realized that when Daylyt speaks about a nigga, like a new nigga a lot, that means he don't do that often. Like the last nigga I vividly remember him like really like on was Twerk. And Twerk, like I said, one of them different type niggas. So when I seen him talking about you, I was like, oh, okay. So Daylyt see what I see too. And it's not surprising me because listening to you, I could tell you a Daylyt fan. Just the way that like
Definitely.
not saying that you sound like her, you're like mimicking the nigga or whatever, but I could just tell like you listened to that nigga when you was, you know what I'm saying, when you was doing your due diligence, watching film. I could tell you was like that was somebody that caught your eye.
I definitely got my favorites, and when you name Briz, when you name Daylyt, like those are like some of my favorites right there. And then my favorites, they're Twerk. They're like my favorites for those type of reasons. Nitty, like it's all common. It's different. Nitty thinks different. Twerk's aura was completely different. Briz Rawsting's delivery and voice is completely different. Daylight's cadence, tone, type of thing is like reference pool. Like it's like, damn, like you be over there, like type of shit. Like, man, it's like, man, it's just crazy. It's just crazy, man. So definitely when we had a little exchange back and forth on Twitter, and just seeing how sharp he is, like just seeing how sharp he is. I had a reference about I forgot what I said, but I said something about like a bull and like Olay. And he said speaking of bull, do you know they mad adore me? Like he said matador, and I'm like, this man slick. That was like the sensei doing a shing, like oh, okay. Like it's like, all right, bet. So we had a little exchange, but There's a lot of respect over here, so I definitely want to battle. I definitely want to battle. Like, I battle off of that type of shit. If I respect you that much, like, oh yeah, I gotta clip you. I gotta clip you. That's how I feel.
One of my favorite things in battle rap slash just hip hop in general is the reference pool, because we all listen to hip hop, and speaking of the NBA or speaking of sports in general, niggas talk about the same basketball players. You're gonna hear a nigga got a 30 like Curry, LeBron James, whatever. It's a million basketball players you can reference, a million football players, a million wrestlers, a million this and that, but niggas go to the same thing. So when I hear niggas getting different bags, I'm like, oh, this nigga, like you said, this nigga over there, like this nigga, like that was one of my favorite things about Twerk. Not to go back to him, but one of my favorite things about that nigga was like, wow, this nigga, when he battled JC, I was like, but this nigga was really reading the Bible. Like this nigga, he ain't just say, this nigga ain't just say Jesus Christ got hung. Like the nigga, what he say? I pop up on JC in the night like Nicodemus. Like that's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? And when I listen to you, that's something that also grabs my eye. Like this nigga's references is crazy to me. So is that something that you like? Take notice at, is like references and like things that will make you stand out in that type of way.
Yeah, definitely. I've been a fan of battle rap for a very long time. I just didn't know I was going to end up battling. It just happened. But I used to always just like, when I would hear something, you like Friday, it'd be like, ah man, like what he about to say about Craig or flipping money or Big Worm, Debo or something like that. So it's like I start thinking differently. It's like, okay, if I think of a reference that's been overused, how do I think of something that nobody has ever said before? So like sometimes the opponent put me in that mind frame. Okay, the nigga JC is a vice lord. So I'm like, okay, I had him and I had Truffaut, two vices. So I started thinking like, okay, vices. So I was like, man, I ain't asked for the vices. So I'm like, the vices. So I was like, who asked for the vices? Felicia did. And I started thinking like, that's a different Friday reference that I've never heard before. So I'm like, only one asking for the vices, Felicia, bye from your peer. It's like, I'm not going to say, bye, just like Felicia on Friday. No, we're going to say it different. We're going to say it different because it's going to come off old because you're delivering it old. Y'all remember Friday after next? Well, it's like, yes, I remember. How could I forget? The classic. like, stop, man. Yes, I know everything. So you don't. So sometimes when it's that known, you got to decipher whether or not to say those type of bars. Like you just said, like we might hear like some of the same players. You want to hear Kobe, you want to hear Jordan, LeBron James. You're going to hear that because the fear is some like Dimwitty, and then you got people like, who the fuck is Dimwitty? It's like, damn, y'all really don't watch ball, dude. Like y'all really don't know. Like, and then like, and now battle rap is really like, it's really being for everybody. What I mean by that is it's like all ages. It's women. It's a lot of women showing up to these crowds too. So at Queen of the Ring, a Love and Hip Hop bar might hit way harder there than in a regular crowd. Because it's like a lot of guys. It's kind of some people gonna get it, but a lot of people aren't type of thing. So you got to be aware of where you're saying shit at as well. So if I say a reference of an NBA player that everybody don't like, it's a chance that bar I might have really needed. I might have just really needed that bar. It's like, yo, you missed right there. One miss turned into, damn, he done missed the last three, like type of thing. It's like he's on a cold streak. And that go from bad placement, bad bars, things. Sometimes you just gotta say, I'm gonna take a chance. Fuck it. I like it that much, I'm gonna take a chance. I try to limit myself to probably like one or two of those the entire battle. I try to limit myself to that. I'm like, all right, too many of those misses, people are like, yo, I don't know what he was saying. I don't know.
What was the one in the JC battle where you was like, I don't know if niggas gonna catch this? Or did you have one where you was just like, I like it that much, I don't care?
Tom Sheppard. It gotta be Tom Sheppard because I've heard above the rim bars so many times, and I never heard nobody say their advice because when I used to play ball, I took Tom Sheppard's advice. Spread your fingers, snap your wrists. Every time he said, yo, the ball needs rotation. Next thing you know, he got the ball, boom, it went in. He took his advice. So just me being young, I'm like, I'm gonna try that shit. And it worked. And I'm like, man, like maybe I was pushing the ball and or whatever. So that advice always stuck to me. And I was like, man, how can I relate that into a bar? And it came from, okay, you might want to look away, Jay. I'm like, yo, Stephen, I'm creating during playoff time. So the game's on. I'm just like, okay. I see Steph doing look away, Jay. I'm like, look away, Jay. What would make him want to look away? He got to be in some type of pain or like, like heartbreak or something. I was like, well, pain. I was like, man, look away, Jay. This move you call Stephen. Tom Sheppard. Call Stephen. Tom, and I just start rhyming like that. Those two words rhyme. Like, well, what about Tom Sheppard? We're not gonna say, and then your soul's above the rim. Like it's like, oh, I'm balling by myself in the park. Old references. Like find the ones that people ain't say. So as far as like the pool, it's more so finding that it's like a thrift store sometimes. Like yo, what the fuck is this doing here? Ain't nobody see this? It's like ain't nobody say that? It's like damn, because everybody was so pressed to do this. So I really try to construct my bars as different as possible so I can get the appreciation. Because when you start thinking that deep into it, you want somebody to say, yo, the science though of that bar. I had a bar against True Foe. I said I would draw with a smile, so plank like Ed, and Eddie for I raised 2x4. And that bar is so late, I would draw. Plank, piece of wood, drawing, smile, plank, Ed, and Eddie. It's like 2x4. It's like I covered the entire vision of that bar. It's like, it's like some people like, who's Ed and Eddie? That's cool. But for the ones who knew, it's like that's when it starts like, yo, majority. Who majority? Yeah, everybody not gonna get it. But you're hoping that guy beside you's like, no, y'all don't get that. Like you hoping for that, and you hoping to ignite. It's like a slow flame. It's like a slow flame, like poof, 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 and then everybody, the whole place just lights up, man. It's special, man, when you put in that much time to it, and to have somebody appreciate it, that's even more fire.
I got a suggestion, bro. I think you should make a TikTok account. I
just started.
Really?
I literally just started like a month ago.
I got a suggestion on what you should do. What you're doing right now, how you're breaking down these bars, because they're so layered, and you're such a charismatic person, even when you break them down. I can see people being very entertained that don't even watch battle rap. Maybe they just like bars, or maybe they just like you just being entertaining. I think you showing the bar and then reenacting the bar and breaking it down like how you did it, I could see people being like, yo, this is cool.
That's
like just to go in his brain. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fire idea, because when you play the clip, the first attention grab is a reaction. Like, what? Y'all didn't see? No, tell me y'all get. And then I start breaking it down. He said this.
Yes.
That's fire. I think I'll take that advice.
Go for it. I think that's fire. That'll be hard, man. That'll be hard.
That's fire.
But going on what we were just talking about, I feel like knowing your audience is so important because, like you said, a nigga may say a Love and Hip Hop bar and Queen of the Ring go crazy. Say a Love and Hip Hop bar on Gnome, and it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that makes me think of, I don't know if you ever seen the show, but Bill Bellamy had a show called Who's Got Jokes? And remember that show? So
yes,
there was an episode of that show where
him in this fucking white suit. I definitely remember that.
There was an episode of Who's Got Jokes where instead of they got people out the crowd to go judge, well, they had people out the crowd to go judge, but they had they told, like, they were interviewing backstage, like, are you ready to do your set? They're like, yeah. So instead of it being like a regular crowd, they replaced the regular crowd with fifth graders, and the judges were also fifth graders. So at that time, they had to make a decision to be like, is my material okay for these fifth graders? Like, are they going to get this? So crazy. They had to adapt on the spot. Because imagine nigga had a whole minute about taxes. Fifth graders not gonna
Yeah,
find that funny. You know what I'm saying? So
nothing,
niggas
nothing.
had to either adjust or do another bit or whatever. And that's just going back to what we're talking about. You got to know your
That's right.
crowd, bruh. Because whether those taxes joke might be hilarious, but to that crowd, ain't gonna hit.
Immediately adjusting, you would have to like that's kind of fire too. Like for the ones who would adjust. Typically, I'm just thinking that if I was in that situation right there, I'll grab like 4 pieces of candy, take away 3, like that's taxes. Like that, get it now? Like I go to my own fucking spill. That's taxes.
That's good.
Yeah, you earned that candy, didn't you? Give me that.
Okay, well, let's go with this same type of logic. Have you performed in front of like an all white crowd?
No, I
Would you
haven't.
change material or would you perform just how you've been performing at URL?
I would change material, but I would still be me. My
Mm.
reference pool will be okay. I know y'all watch Seinfeld because I watch Seinfeld. I'm like, so I know you watch Seinfeld. You know, hold on, my bad, bro. I should put this shit on do
No,
not
you straight,
disturb.
you straight.
Uh, there we go, my bad. But yeah, my reference pool will be like, okay, we're gonna do some office bars. You know, like we're gonna do that white basketball player that y'all love. You know, type of thing like that. Like so, while still incorporating some of my other shit. You know, so now I might talk about Molly or something like that, rather than PCP. You know, type of shit like that. Like I might go that route. So it's just different type of things that I'm just taking into effect that I would do. But I would do a battle, you know, but that's down the line. Right now I'm all URL right now.
So speaking of URL, that's how you've gotten your name. That's how people find. That's how I found out about you. That's how a lot of people find out about you. How are you? Like, are you enjoying this stardom that you are receiving and about to receive, or is this something that's coming new to you? Are you accepting it? How are you dealing with the attention?
Um, no actuality, like I'm really embracing it, bro. Like it's just I've been a fan for so long that now that you're in the game, it's like, well, what did I like as a fan? What wasn't an artist giving me that I really fucked with? What was an artist that I thought was all right, but he was doing something else that kept me intrigued? It's like, yo, I'm gonna try to just cover the whole board. I'm a have merch. Instead of coming out on Champion as just we got, I'm a come out in a Chris Jericho theme. I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna go this direction because I'm thinking, why hasn't nobody tried that yet?
Mm.
Like if it's in the realms of it, it's like, why hasn't nobody tried that yet? Y'all scared. Once you box somebody, you can more so get an angle on how you're going to approach somebody. So I try to stay as far away from the box because a lot of my opponents, they tell me when they're done, yo, it was tough preparing for you. And I'm like, really? That's like, it was tough, man. It was just like, you can go so many different ways. And when it's time to talk, you can talk too. It's like, I started really just looking at it more so like, man, I'd rather be, that's why I made my name a pun. She happens. Like, I'm like, okay. After a while, I'm like, I really want to stretch somebody's brain to go ahead and flip my name because you're going to make it harder and harder for the next person.
Mm.
I'm just looking at it like, yo, I'm gonna treat my name as if like, yo, okay, my first trip ever in my entire life was Jamaica. My second trip ever was Japan. So when I go to Miami, it's like, oh, like, what the fuck is this? So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, when people end up saying now that I'm crossing over to the higher rankings, they're going to take the time to say shit I've never heard before. And that's perfect because the next person is we're running out of rum nitty flips, like type of thing. So people had to start breaking the shit down, type of thing. It's like after a while, it's like, man, what the fuck else do I got? Another she bar. He goes, she do this, she do that. Okay, and it happens. It's like, okay, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I done heard that at least 12 times already. So I'm like, okay, like, so I'm gonna keep on hearing these same flips, but then after that, it's like I really want to make it as difficult as I can. So when I run into somebody that has such a broad name too, I look at that like, do I want to have a broad name and to have everybody kind of, nah, man, I got to do something kind of different. That just, I don't know. I just ran with that. That was my screen name. I was like, man, I'm gonna just go with that. I was like, man, fuck it. I'm already using that for the gram. I'm gonna just go with that. But the process of making things as difficult as possible for your opponent is very high, man, and you get surprised on some of these bars people come up with, man, and it's like, damn, man, like that was so creative. I can't wait to hear the next one. It's like I didn't think of that, so it makes you start thinking of defense. Like, okay, if I know this person can freestyle really good, I'm not gonna wear a headband that says Supreme. Like I'm not going to do that, because you can make the flip into anything. So it's about awareness as well, and it's trying to be as far away from the box, man. Nobody really knows Andre 3000 style. He can do it all. He can do it all, man. You need him to sing. You need him to rap fast. You need him to do a pop song. You need him to say some soulful shit. You need him to apologize. You need him to be sad, like. Man, it's trying to embody that whole well-rounded. I can't wait to try to like really, really, really rebuttal. Once that's one of my goals, to start rebuttaling. Once I start rebuttaling, man, it's curtains. It's curtains.
No, that's kind of like when I've been following Danny Myers for forever, and he ain't had that in his bag, but now that he got rebuttaling in his bag, it's like this nigga's
him, and that means you seen Geechee acquired.
Yeah.
It's like, and these is like, the thing about it is, by the time we're like, man, he's really starting to rebuttal now, you start realizing, like, hold on, he's kind of been rebuttaling, but now he's doing it 2-3 times. And it's like, yo, you know what? He has been doing that lately. He hit 3 today, and now we're just like, yo, just gaining that confidence right there. And one thing that happened in this tournament that doesn't usually happen to me, I came up with a rebuttal. I just didn't say it because the way my round started, it would have brung the crowd back down. And I'm like, because, prime example, I went against Nun, and I thought of a W2 rebuttal. But I knew my round started off was, my first plug was a DJ. So I knew whether it landed or not, I'm bringing it back down. And I'm like, yo, this is timed. Do I want to take that shot? No. But usually, bruh, I can't think of shit. I'm too busy listening to my opponent. Like, did that hit? No, that didn't. That didn't. Oh, man, he got one more. He got another one, and I'm out of here. Or, nah, I got this round. For the first time, a bar hit me. And I was like, oh, man, I'm starting to get more comfortable. I'm like, okay. And I'm saying to myself against True Foe, I thought of another rebuttal. I was like, a shooting star rebuttal. And I was like, he's not going to beat my first, though. I'm like, I'm literally in my head like, I got this. Like, I'm hearing this round, and I'm like, oh, that was fire in the beginning. Fire. Then I'm like, oh, no, I got this. I said, I got this. I don't need a rebuttal. Let's go. And I went. I'm like, okay, but I thought of one right there. Against JC, I didn't think of one. And rebuttal didn't cross my mind. Because at that time, I'm like, damn, bro. Like, I'm like, this is a fight. I don't know if I'm winning or I'm losing. I'm trying to get this shit together. I'm like, I don't know. Time to turn up. That's all I know, type of thing. So between that, man, acquiring, like you said, Danny Myers freestyling, something like that, like to get that attribute, that'll make me even more dangerous. And that's all I'm about, man. I'm about making me more dangerous, man. Just acquiring all my skills, because I just feel like it's talent right now. It's talent and it's skill, but I'm flourishing with my talent. I gotta adapt as well. And start rebuttaling. I'm gonna start rebuttaling. I promise you.
Hey man, I think you're on your way. I don't want to keep it for too long. I do want to ask like who you listen to though in like a music realm. Before I do that, I'm gonna forget to say this. So I forgot to say it when we were talking about it. But niggas overdo Friday so much. But speaking of music, there's this nigga who signed to Danny Brown named Bruiser Wolf. He's basically you ever heard Sugar? You ever heard Sugar Free?
No.
Sugar
Oh,
Free.
like the pimp?
Yes, the pimp, Sugar
Yeah,
Free.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So he's like Sugar Free. If Sugar Free didn't rap about pimping, he's rap about selling drugs. So imagine that.
yeah. Okay.
So
Okay, yeah.
this nigga, he has so many just insane bars. The nigga just crazy. But one of my favorite bars by him is a Friday bar, and it's a Felicia bar. And he say, I forget how he rhymed it, but the nigga say, you say bye Felicia, I say hi to fiends, and I was like, that's slick. You
Yeah,
feel me?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
different. That's slick
yeah,
right
yeah,
there. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
appreciate when niggas do just little slick shit. But anyway, back to music.
yeah,
Who you
yeah.
listen to?
I okay. I growing up, it was Tupac and Bone.
Mm.
Tupac and Bone Thugs and Harmony. That's who it was. Tupac, Bone. I'm gonna tell you, like, I was like, okay. How I started looking at things was, I started like reflecting on what did I absolutely need to have from this artist. Like, what artist? Not just a CD. It was like, no, I just kind of went crazy. Everything they got. Tupac, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Lil Wayne, 3 6 Mafia. Now it's TDE. It's Isaiah, it's Ab, Schoolboy, Kendrick, Jay. I fuck with they whole movement over there. Who else? Tyler. Who else I listen to right now? I listen to a bunch. Of course, I listen to Drake.
Shout out to Absol for battling, by the way. You know, with the
Yeah,
way
yeah,
we was
yeah, yeah.
battling,
That's fire.
that's fire.
Yeah, I definitely caught that, and I'm like, damn, this shit is crazy, man. That shit was crazy, and this is back in fan days. I'm like, damn, I have Soul Battle Daylyt. That's fire. Now to see that Daylyt over there, like, that's kind of crazy, man. That's just crazy. And that's not inspiring, man. I don't see how it can't be, man. Just being amongst some of these people, like, that's mentioning you as well. It's like, man, it's more so the feeling of, man, I'm on the right path. Like, all the lines are like, things are just lining up. It's like, I gotta keep going. I don't know where this road leads to. And just to see those doors open up, it's like, damn, bro, like, this shit is fire. But those pretty much are artists that I'm on the other side, 42 Doug, ESTG, who else? Lil Baby, Thug. It's yeah, man. It's a. I got a plethora of shit that I kind of listen to, man. A lot of shit that I listen to. But right now, that's pretty much who running the game. When I was prepping for my battle against Nun Nun and Trufo and JC, I was playing "Count Me Out" by Kendrick. Count Me Out the entire time. Count Me Out.
Can we talk about that song real quick? Because I didn't think we was going to get in the Kendrick bag. That is one of my favorite songs on that album. I can talk about the album for a long time, but just musically, like, that is, like, I feel like the most interesting Kendrick album just from, like, an instrumentation production, because he's playing with sonically.
Sonically, it's so positive.
Oh my gosh,
it's uplifting sonically, and then when he brings you down to a story, it's very simple, and it's like, damn, man, like this is the rainy day. Like, you could kind of decipher the day that he's having, and like, hey, man, don't give me this nigga Kendrick, man. Favorite. That's my favorite rapper.
Mine
That's
too.
my favorite rapper. Period.
Mine too.
That's
That's how we can go. Mine too.
Yeah, period. Like, period. I remember the first time I heard rigor mortis. I was like, I'm not lying to you, bro. I'm on hot new hip hop. I'm on hotnewhiphop.com, and I'm like, back when it was kind of, well, I don't know how it's doing right now. It's just not my source. So I'm like, Kendrick Lamar, I was dying to find new music. I just clicked it, and I'm hearing it, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm about to turn. Then I heard him. As I'm about to turn, I was like, well, he sounds a little different. And I'm like, damn, he kind of going. He's going. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck? I jumped in my car. My man lived 3 stop signs away. Hey, yo, who the fuck is Kendrick? He's like, what? I know he loves music way more than me. Who the fuck is Kendrick Lamar? He's like, who's that? You don't know this shit called rigor mortis? He's like, no. Play this shit. He typed in YouTube. I said, it's a video? I'm like, oh, I need to see this. I'm like, who the fuck is he? Like, I'm like, I was really off of that shit, and I'm like, damn, man, count me out. There's so many one-liners that he's saying. The first bar, he says, one of these lives, I'm gonna make things right. What you mean, one of these lives? God damn it! Like, the first bar, and the crazy thing about it is, some people don't start listening until like the third or the fourth bar. They don't even start listening yet. They're like, okay, I hear how he sounds, and this is a guy. I don't have to do that immediately. Boom, I'm listening. I'm tuned in. I'm like, he has a lot of one-liners in there. It's the blood that shit could. He said the blood that shit could fill up aquariums, and I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, man, this man kind of going crazy, man. Like, if I ain't learned to love myself, forgive myself 100 times, I done let myself down 1,000,000 times, but I had to forgive myself. And I'm like, listen, like, and I heard count me out. I'm like, yeah, they counted me out of this tournament. They counted me out on the polls at 19%. I was like, oh yeah, y'all got me fucked up. I'm like, y'all got me fucked up. That was my theme music for the entire UN5. That was my theme music. When his album dropped right before UN5, I promise you, I was like, man, I gotta get inspired. The pressure on. Kendrick drops tonight. I'm like, I have to hear this, and I'm listening. I'm like, oh, I'm motivated. I'm motivated. I'm ready to go. Hey man, hey, I don't even want to hold you. Hey man, Kendrick. I'm a Kendrick fan.
I gotta speak my piece now. Count me out, because I'm gonna take a different route, because I'm a bar nigga myself. But the sound of that song for me, it took like it. They say like in heaven it's gonna be animals singing, the flowers singing, the choir in the background with the. It feel like I'm in just heaven. Then you get that I. It's just
the sonically and toward the end, and that I toward the end of that, really, I'm like listening, like I'm like, and just to hear him switch, anybody going through the stress, anybody that just came out of nowhere, and I'm like, this motherfucker here, man. My favorite sonically, when you got the sound of the drifting, I'm falling in the background with it, and that it's all playing at the same time. And when he's like, I made a decision, never give you my feelings, fuck what you from. I'm like,
fuck with you from a distance.
I'm like, it's the from. How it sounds like, it's just right here. It's like, man, that's my. Hey, fool, I promise you, man. I just niggas said some put it on the devil when they fall short. I put it on my ego, Lord of all lords.
Come on.
I'm like, do y'all even hear what he talking about right now, man? Niggas is putting their ego before the one up top, man. And when everything go bad, it was the devil. Like, people not even, man, hey, man, I ain't got time.
Hey, like we'll go down there another hour if we start talking about that Kendrick album, man. So
that's why we got to tap in again, man. We got to definitely do this again. Definitely,
for sure.
We building, type of shit, man. I can talk about Kendrick for a minute.
Hey,
old TDE for a minute.
Hey, man. So before we get out of here, for the people watching, please let them know where they can find you, and if you got any last words, man, let it be known.
You can find me at She Happens _ on Instagram, and She Happens on Twitter, man. I got my home league OSBL, man. Shout out to the whole staff over there, man. So I just appreciate you reaching out, bro, man. We gotta build again.
Hey, whenever you battle again, we'll do another one of these afterwards. You feel me? So let's do that.
Well, you got my line, man.
For sure. For the people watching right now, I appreciate y'all. Until next time, I say what I mean what I say. Haters gonna hate. Players gonna play. Y'all holla at your boy. And